Nice.
I'm seriously gonna title this like the super on time spoiler cast for things relevant. Still,
People are still talking about
yeah,
the things we're going to talk about.
yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Nick waited till Star Wars hit streaming services.
You know what?
To watch.
He made the right choice. What a perfect
and I don't
medium.
blame you.
What a perfect medium.
I don't blame you. So I think that's a good one to start off with first.
I feel like I got
Alright.
wrong.
Let's just get Star Wars. Let's do it. Fuck it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I don't even know where to begin. Where do you want to begin?
All right. Here's where I want to begin because I'm going to sound like a fucking asshole, but I would like to explain things like after.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
But I want people to know the stance I'm going in with. I am now of the opinion that there are more bad Star Wars movies than there are good ones. And that there are all the peripheral Star Wars stuff is where it's at. And that the movies actually fail their world they're creating. Now, that's not to say I'm not going to be one of those guys who goes like, Rian Johnson sucked. It was like the worst thing to happen in Star Wars. I actually think Rian Johnson's Star Wars had some of the best ideas.
Yes.
But it's a movie stifled by its studio. And just not allowed to do what it should have been doing.
Okay, I can see that.
But let's talk about the last movie.
Alrighty. Star Wars Episode 9.
Okay. So I will say I came out of that movie going, oh, it's okay. It was okay. And then like after thinking about it for more than like an hour, after watching it, I went, oh no, I don't like it. I don't think the movie is good.
I think my experience with watching the movie, and I saw it back in what was it, December when it came out?
Yeah, I saw it not too long after it came out. An empty theater, by the way.
Oh yeah, it was dead.
Yeah.
It was dead. I think my experience with this movie felt a lot like stay with me through this metaphor. It felt a lot like having a dad that let you down. Because I was watching it and I just thought, no, this is fine.
Yeah, same here.
This is fine.
This is fine.
No. This is cool. I mean, I
and
didn't
then
love
you're out
that.
of the situation, and you think about it with
And
new
you're like,
context.
You know what? I don't know if that was cool.
I don't think that was right. And I feel like I have to like put this into context too. Like I grew up fucking loving Star Wars, man.
Same.
And there's still things I love about Star Wars, but now they're all on the outside, right? Like I like the games. Some of them I think I bring it up all the time, but I think the KOTOR stories are amazing. Some of my treatment of that. Fuck, I even watched Mandalorian. I finished
I've
that.
only seen a little bit of it, but I really liked what I've seen.
It's good. It starts off as like a spaghetti western, but then quickly becomes like Tiger and Cub.
Tight.
And it's just good. It's just solid. It's a solid show. With definitely a bigger budget than most shows.
And Tiger Waititi directs some of it.
Tiger Waititi,
He's in it.
he's in it too.
He's in it as
Yeah,
well.
and he directs the last episode.
Tight.
And the way the episode starts is totally him directing it.
I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Werner Herzog only wanted to see that baby.
Yeah, Werner Herzog showing up was like weird to me. I saw that first episode when I was getting a haircut like months ago, when it came out.
Oh, like it was at your barbershop?
They were putting it on.
Okay.
Because they had a running gag where every time for like, I forgot how long they did this, but every time the store opened, they would put on The Mandalorian and let it run all the episodes that were currently out.
Yeah.
At the time.
What fucking barber are you going to?
Hey man, they get the beard done right.
Are you
That's all I
planning
need.
on coming for your cut around 5? Because episode 7 will be on then. I can't come then. I haven't caught up.
Oh man, but yeah, dude, that movie. I'm just talking about how I feel before I start breaking stuff down. Nick, how did you feel watching it? Watching it from the comfort of quarantine through the PSN streaming.
I mean, I saw a 3-hour movie and felt like I haven't learned much.
Okay.
I felt like stuff was left out.
And I'll get into this. It's 3 movies crammed into one.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like the entire, like, if you want to break the movie down into 3 acts, those 3 acts should have been films on their own.
Yeah. The first half has 3 acts on its own. Like,
yeah.
There's like 3 MacGuffins in the first half of the movie.
So, there's a lot to jump into. I want to jump into
hang on.
biggest... Okay, go.
Nick, keep going. How do you feel about it?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
I saw a 3-hour movie. I felt like not a lot was explained, and at the same time, if you had to rely on your Twitter account to explain to people all the in-betweens and all the scenes that were taken out, that explains why things happened the way they did.
Yeah.
So. Hey, Ian, did you see that screenshot of Kylo Ren with Chewbacca and him going to Chewie's mind and seeing all the things he experienced and then feeling bad, and that's why he comes to save her at the end?
No, I haven't. And that's actually...
Oh, yeah?
Can you put a pin in that thought? Because we definitely got to circle around to
we have to talk about that fucking Twitter account, because I think it is things that are wrong with the way they're treating that franchise, right?
Yes.
I think it's
What's
a big...
the Twitter?
It's a big... Oh, you didn't know about that? Okay, so the Star Wars Twitter, because I showed Nick all that shit, and then I think you went down like a Reddit thread.
Yes.
That had it all together.
I collected it all and then fill in the blanks for each part of the movies.
So, after the movie came out, I want to say a week or two, the Star Wars Twitter started posting facts about the movie. But not about production or anything, about the story. Like, did you know that Emperor Palpatine is a clone?
It was inferred, but maybe not explained.
Here's the thing. I fucking did it. They didn't say that in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that? Did you know that... Oh, God, there was a whole fucking list. The Chewie thing was a big deal.
So the reason all those Star Destroyers fell at the end was because each one was mind-controlled by... force-controlled, technically, by the cult members.
Yeah.
In that cave. So when they all fell down, that's why all the Star Destroyers fell down at the same time.
Yeah.
Wait, the cult members were referring here to like the spooky people watching Rey and Kylo fight?
Yes.
Yeah, they're controlling the Star Destroyers.
Okay.
And do you know how he got all those slaves? Because Palpatine took over an entire planet and a race of people and is controlling them with the Force. Did you know that, Ian?
Oh, so I did not know that.
Because that wasn't in the fucking movie. That was in some Twitter account that posted it weeks later. And it's like
there's
this...
so much we've got to...
I know, I just want to say, it's just like this thing of like... Just trying to make it better, like, oh, did you know? Yeah, it was a cool thing, but like, stuff that's super important...
If it's not in the movie, then it doesn't count.
Yeah, then I don't think I should count it towards like how I feel about the movie.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so Nick, do you want to talk about the Emperor to start?
Talk about Palpatine.
Did you play
one?
Fortnite?
Yeah. Okay.
The dead speak.
I'm not allowed to speak then if I haven't played Fortnite.
Yeah, Ian, did you know that?
What about Fortnite?
Oh man, did you not know that Fortnite had? Yeah, hey, it's Fortnite. It's the biggest game in the world, Ian. Why wouldn't you play it?
It was.
It's that they had a Star Wars event, and at the end of the event, Palpatine comes back and you hear his voice, and his voice is heard throughout the galaxy. That's why the movie starts off with the dead speak, because that's the line from Fortnite.
Wait, is that a wait? Hold on.
Ian, I am telling you that entire beginning scroll is describing the events of Fortnite.
Are we saying? But okay, you're suggestively phrasing this.
Yes.
Are we saying? What you're saying is
yes.
They did a Fortnite game and then they made a Star Wars. What in reality it is, Fortnite got to use backstory from Star Wars.
No. Fortnite had a Star Wars event, right? So they're using assets. Or they you play as stormtroopers or play as the ships, right?
Like Thanos.
They did this with Marvel
Okay.
too, although Marvel, it wasn't like canon or anything. This shit's canon, that Star Wars event. Because apparently people who beat the whatever campaign was going on got that ending cutscene, and it was super canon. In fact, the whole crux of the beginning of the movie is based on that.
That really bums me out.
Doesn't that suck? Doesn't that like... Doesn't that... I don't know, man. I don't know what they were thinking.
So, I promise I'll circle around to a point very quickly, but
Yeah.
picture, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
the year is 1997.
Mm-hmm. That's when it all started.
There's gonna be another Jurassic Park
Yeah.
that's gonna come out.
Yes.
And you have to mail in 30 box tops from Kellogg's so you can get the VHS tape that has like a 15-minute clip of old Scottish man describing what's happening. And without that context, you don't know what's happening in Jurassic Park. That's how dumb that is.
Please tell me the Jurassic Park example's real, and you're not making that.
That was something I made up. But
Damn, because that would have been crazy.
That'd be fucking crazy, dude.
And then I would actually collect box tops.
But you're right. That's what it feels like, man. Although to be fair, Ian, Fortnite's the biggest video game in the world. Why wouldn't you play it?
Doesn't anyone have a computer?
Yeah, doesn't everyone have a way to play it?
Doesn't everyone have free time to beat a campaign? To
Hey,
then launch
that dance you do with the young children. Didn't you ever wonder where that came from?
Sure.
It came from Fortnite, and not the artist that made up that dance that they stole from. But that's a topic for a whole different thing. I won't get into
Really
it.
should cut into that at some point. But okay.
Oh yeah, they stole from Drake, man. Anyway,
They stole from
no, I'm talking about Fortnite.
Scrubs. They stole from Scrubs. They stole his dance.
I can get into that's a whole nother topic. I can't believe I never brought that up with you.
Why does Drake want to disrespect Zach Braff this way?
So, okay,
Star Wars.
Let's start off. Yeah, we're getting a little all over the place.
Okay, if we start with Palpatine, we're gonna basically be talking about the end of the movie.
All right. Well, let's start with the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
Is what I say. We start with Palpatine.
Okay.
I think that entire first half is like, it didn't feel as rushed the second time I watched it with Nick. But I remember the first time watching it, I was like, holy shit, this movie's moving a mile a minute.
I just remember thinking when they do light skipping.
Yeah.
And they jump through like 5 different space vignettes.
Uh-huh.
I think at that point I thought, this movie's not going to be long enough for what they're doing.
Oh, dude, I felt that immediately as they're doing all those skips.
Yeah.
Like, I'm with you
Like,
on that, man.
Oh, there
is no time.
They got 30 minutes of work and 5 minutes to do it.
Yeah. It's. God, it was so fast. How did it feel? How did it feel for you, Nick? Because I felt the first half is just nonsense at some point because it's moving so fast.
I argue the entire thing's nonsense. Like,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
like I know it sounds really cynical and mean, but that's just how it came across to me the full 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there. Any emotions I felt was either the next 5 or the next 10 minutes after were thwarted. Hey, you felt bad for that guy? No, don't worry about it. He's good.
Yeah.
You feel bad about Chewbacca? No, don't worry about that. That's literally the entire.
And Chewbacca. Okay, so the moment like Chewbacca gets shot down, right?
Yeah.
And she gets force lightning.
Yeah.
And I think I told you this too. That was the first time in the movie I had actually like started sitting up straight in my seat.
Mm.
So I went, "Oh, we're doing something interesting here."
Yeah.
Because if that's how he's killed off, holy shit, that does add a lot of
way to
impact.
kill that character we all love.
Yeah, that does add a lot of impact to
Yes.
Let me also say that an aspect of me watching the new films was I had an expectation that the classic characters have to be killed off.
Oh yeah, they
Like,
had to.
because
And they all show up in this movie.
They all show up in this fucking kind of. Okay, wait. Okay, so let me get Carrie Fisher out of my system.
Yeah.
As best I can.
Okay.
Size hole in this movie. And it really fucks the movie up. And they clearly were banking on doing a lot with Leia in this movie, and then they had to rewrite everything.
Yeah.
To use her as little as possible, and then they digitally put her in places, and they reused footage that did exist, and then it's just, and then she's a sheet for like 2/3 of the film.
Yeah.
So Carrie Fisher, that's very upsetting to me. That's terrible, and just because I think, I mean, this is Carrie Fisher is one of the biggest sins of this movie, but at the same time, it's also not anything that the filmmaker did wrong.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It was out of their control.
It's not their fault. Yeah, it's not their fault that happened. But I think that they should have, like, if you cannot use Carrie, and you're not going to be as craven as to just digitally make her up.
Yeah.
Rewrite the script. And clearly there was big chunks of this thing that were untouched, in my opinion.
It really felt like there was no time. But at the same time, I feel like they made decisions that really shot themselves in the foot. And this kind of goes into my bigger... Oh, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. I was going to go into...
No, I was agreeing with you. Go.
Okay. This kind of goes into a bigger thing. One of my ultimate feelings from this movie is that this... Okay. Let me start. J.J. Abrams does the first of the new trilogy, right? And it's fine. I actually think that one's like a fine movie.
Yeah.
I remember walking out and calling that was like a solid 7. I was almost like one of those neutral people. I have no strong feelings against it, but I don't think it's like particularly amazing. It had cool stuff. And then this was, of course, followed by me explaining that, like, I always had a thing where I'm not too big of a fan of J.J. Abrams' directing style and storytelling style. Yeah. And the second movie, and he famously went on in an interview and said, yeah, they offered me to write all 3 movies in the new trilogy. But I told them I'd agree to direct the first one if they got someone else to direct the next 2, just like how it originally was.
Right.
And then Rian Johnson comes on board. He comes up with fantastic ideas. I thought that movie was going to go into a whole gray area that are just never utilized. And then this almost feels like... And then J.J. Abrams comes back, and it almost feels like it's out of spite. And it's him arguing with Ryan what Star Wars is.
I can see that.
Because like he makes Mark Hamill come back, and Mark Hamill's first line is, "A Jedi shouldn't throw away their lightsaber so lightly," even though in the previous movie he tossed that shit
into the water.
And said that the lightsaber isn't actually important.
What's important is you and your like relationship with other people, etc., etc.
Yeah. It's how the Force impacts people.
Yeah, the crystals. The crystal is what matters. Power crystals is what matters in this universe.
Yeah.
I have learned.
But J.J. Abrams says lightsabers are fucking cool.
And power crystals are everything. Okay.
Which I won't argue with the fact that they're cool.
Yes.
No.
But I think because lightsabers are one of the coolest fucking weapons ever. That's why we love that shit.
Yeah.
But I think Ryan had a really good point there. Or Mr. Johnson. I talk about him like I fucking know him.
Old Ryan? Oh, sure.
Mr.
Oh, yeah, Ryan, we had pizza the other day.
Mr. Johnson.
Broke quarantine. Went down to Santa Monica. Hang on.
Go ahead.
This comes to the third movie where I feel like, like I said, he's arguing with Ryan, and he's trying to almost redo 3 movies into one, into this kind of space adventure. And again, it's arguing with the previous movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, turns out Rey is special. And the
Fuck, I
Force...
hated that.
Dude, it's the fucking worst. That's like one of my biggest problems with Star Wars now. Is that, yeah, it does matter who you fucking are and who your bloodline is.
Eugenics, son.
You better keep within that incestuous family if you want those powers.
Keep the blood pure.
Because the galaxy is going to revolve around you.
Yes,
So,
literally.
Not to derail this conversation,
Yeah.
but the fact that Palpatine not only has a grandchild, but
a son.
has a child.
Oh, did
Gross.
you know? Okay,
Gross.
go. Hang on. Finish your thing.
No, it's just gross. Why,
Oh yeah, it's fucking gross. And then you go, who the fuck did that? Well, let me tell you, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
The Star Wars Twitter came out. I want to say that post was like a month later.
Yes.
Or something crazy. That, hey, did you know Palpatine's son, Rey's father, is actually a failed clone of Palpatine?
Oh god damn it.
Ian, did you know that?
That's not how sons and dads work.
Yeah. Guess what?
Oh,
it wasn't in the fucking movie.
Yeah. Hey, Ian.
Uh-huh.
You know where they got that from?
Where'd they get that?
The whole clone dad thing.
Where'd they get that from?
So they actually took it from a habit from the prequels that they didn't mention unless you bought the DK journal for kids. And it turns out that Boba Fett.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
So
It's off topic, but I'm gonna let Nick go with this because it's fucking nuts. Bananas.
Well, it actually explains where they got this idea from.
Okay.
Because it's a habit that some of the writers had.
Gotcha.
So we have Boba Fett, who's the son of Jango Fett, right?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. And you saw Jango Fett in the second movie, right? The prequel?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, so Jango Fett turns out does not
Good for
have a
you.
son. He has a clone, and he raised the clone because Jango Fett did not pass the Mandalorian test. So he raised his clone as his son, so that son can become the Mandalorian for him in his place. So when hang on, keep the mic on. So when
I'm listening.
when Boba Fett holds the helmet of his father's head, he's holding the head of himself. So technically, when he falls into the pit, Jango died twice.
These movies are fucking dumb.
Dude, these
And
movies are
Yay!
awful. These movies-
Now you get it.
Listen, I never was one to argue that Star Wars was an intellectual, like, thought-provoking movie. No. Star Wars was always stupid on some level. But at least we didn't get shit like that. Where it sounds like someone trying to over-explain things and it makes things awful in retrospect.
Yes.
Well, here's my gripe about both of those two examples of Jango Fett, Boba, and now the Palpatines.
The daddies, yes.
The daddies. Is I mean, you can say someone is raised as a son or whatever. That does not change what someone is like biologically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That clone was still able to have kids, I guess.
Yes.
Like, so just to be clear, like, I would never ever tell someone who had an adopted child that that's not your kid. Of course, that's your kid. But you don't get to then say that this is the same thing as a biological. It is a different old can of fish.
Well, it's fine. The lineage does continue, Ian.
It's pure.
Because it's clones.
Yes.
It's more incestuous than you thought.
So that's what I was getting at. This is where the idea of the only way for these Star Wars movies to keep Jedis in... The idea of Jedis pure is that the purity is from the family, and the writers dictate that the only way to keep the Jedis and Sith powers pure is that they all are from the same family.
Yeah.
In some way or form.
Like I said, it's more incestuous now.
Yes.
Than it ever was.
It is yucky.
It was already a problem, and it was a problem I had before, like, even the last two movies came out, and I told people that.
Yes.
I was like, I'm so sick of. I think I said it before on the podcast. I'm so sick and fucking tired of watching the same family in this universe.
You did say yes.
That's like super fascinating, or it can be. But man, okay, so that's the first part of Palpatine even existing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we were like kind of excited because we were like, well, if you bring anyone back, Palpatine's the one to bring back.
I mean, he was a great actor. I really like that actor.
He is. I'm not going to say any of these people are bad actors. I think they're all playing their parts like super well, actually.
Well, and I think that he relishes it. He really loves getting to be.
Palpatine. That's a character and a half, dude. Mm-hmm. But I think everyone in this movie, and I want to make this very clear, is doing a great like performance. Just with the horrible thing they've been presented.
Yes.
To the point where I even think John Boyega knows that. Because he was posting stuff about it.
I really loved it. I loved the stuff I've been seeing.
That's getting a little off topic, but so we get Palpatine, right? He raises that Star Destroyer, that fleet of Star Destroyers, and already it's like, oh, that's too many. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
You know? Because I remember when one Star Destroyer shows up, like in the first ever Star Wars movie, and you're like, holy shit, that's huge. They have an amazing sense of scale shot. It was a thing Star Wars would get to be known for. And there's one, and you're like, that's a fucking problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal. And even in the newer trilogy, when one showed up again, it's like, like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal that even one exists. And then when you see the whole thing, the whole fleet, it doesn't matter anymore because you know they're all going to be blown up.
Yeah.
Somehow or some way, they will all be destroyed.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so not to get too lost in the tangle, because there's a lot of notes yet to hit on this thing. But so when I'm watching the battle above, does anyone know the name of the planet where they committed genocide to make all the spookies?
Yeah, the genocide that's not even mentioned.
So that whole starfight where Finn is out there and then Rose is in the movie for like 5 minutes.
Is she the one that in the last movie who said it's not the people we kill but the people we save? Is that her?
Yeah, that's her.
Yes. The one who was a main character in the last one and then barely showed up in this one.
They sure killed a lot of people in this movie.
Huh?
She did.
Yeah.
Oh man, remember how the last movie ends?
Yes.
Where they're all like, there's 10 people on screen, and you go, we're the last of the rebellion.
Yes.
And you're like, fuck, that is like disheartening. And they show up, and it's like a whole big squadron now.
Yeah.
Red Fox.
Yeah, we're not even talking.
Red.
I'm not even getting into Lando finding the whole fleet. That's a whole can of worms I can open.
Red Hot.
And why I think that moment's like the antithesis of why I don't like the J.J. Abrams style of directing.
Yes.
But
let's get back to the beginning.
For the sake of like narrative structure.
Yeah.
When you have the big final battle, the 3-part battle between Rey and between Ben and between the Emperor, I don't care about anything else that's happening because I know how Star Wars logic works to a degree.
Yeah.
And when you're fighting the Emperor, who the Emperor here is like, he's the most bad a guy can get, right? Sorry, one second. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh my god.
Alright, well, I'll talk about something for a little bit.
Okay. Who is your favorite Jedi, Chris?
Who's my favorite Jedi?
Yes.
That person who holds 2 lightsabers in the Tarkovsky Clone Wars.
Oh my god, the Genndy Tarkovsky stuff's golden.
Is that the guy who has a 2-sided one?
No, it's the girl who is like a bounty hunter.
Oh, yeah.
I thought she was cool. Anyway, Ian, continue.
She was.
Anyway, so my whole thought is, when you're watching that, you know that he's the most bad thing that could happen.
It was Palpatine all along.
Exactly. And that he's, even with the cartoonishness of, like,
oh, sorry, you're roboting out real quick. What was that?
You're breaking down.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Star Destroyers, as far as you can see.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know that Palpatine is more bad than that.
Yes.
And so, the problem is any other threat feels so the resolution to that is more important. So, like, I'm just thinking, like, well, if they beat the Emperor, then because in Star Wars there is...
Sorry, hang on, you're cutting out really bad right now.
Really?
Yeah. The last thing we heard was that you know that Palpatine's the biggest bad, and once you see all the Star Destroyers, it doesn't matter anymore, and you don't care because you know ultimately it's Palpatine that has to go.
Exactly, and so there's no tension in that. There's no tension because it, like, even if Rey, even if like Finn and the characters do their part well, who cares?
Yeah.
Like their contribution is devalued by how puny it is compared to what's going on in the other room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, in fact, if Rey had just killed Palpatine, they wouldn't have needed all those starfighters to come in.
No, exactly, and
because they fell. Because the Star Destroyers all fall when they kill Palpatine.
And so that immediately, not only does that undercut the tension, but it also makes all the effort that they're putting in feel really, like, pointless, and that feels gross. It's
because it feels just emotionally manipulative.
Yeah,
because there's no real stake.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was my entire feeling for the entire 3 hours. I'm sitting there, it's like,
well, that's my whole thing with JJ.
What am I supposed to feel bad about?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to feel bad that she can't accept that she's part of a lineage she had no control of, and that she chooses to absorb and act, but at the same time act surprised that she's born privileged as a Jedi?
Yeah.
Is that the protagonist? Is that what I'm supposed to feel? Am I supposed to feel bad that she shot lightning at a ship where her friend's okay, but she doesn't? Am I feeling bad that she thinks that she killed him? Is that what I'm feeling bad about?
Dude, it's the Naruto effect. She goes from being the least privileged character on that whole thing to becoming the most privileged.
Literally demigod.
Yeah. Like
born to a rich family.
Born of the most powerful being in all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And inherited all the powers. Including stuff that's from, like, the fucking KOTOR games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But let me... So, I'm going to do a little bit more structure thing going on right now, since we talked a little bit more.
You want to go to the second scene?
I want to just talk about all the MacGuffins, man.
All
get into the pyramid. They get the... Kylo Ren gets that pyramid cube thing.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently just hooks up to a ship. And we don't find out till, like... And I remember taking note of this.
Mm-hmm.
We don't find out till the very fucking end when Rey finally gets one.
Yeah.
That, it's a navigator thing. Oh, that would have been nice.
They do explain it.
To know. Yeah.
So, you guys probably haven't gone to it, but at Star Wars Land in Disneyland,
that's right. Okay, go ahead.
So, I told Chris about my experience going to that part of Disneyland in Anaheim, California. And for Star Wars Land, it was very clear the people who designed that part of the park had a very different view of Star Wars than the people making the movies. And the biggest issue is that there's a shop that has all the crystals, and essentially, whenever you go up to one, they have a little proverb essentially under it, and it's each philosophy that the crystal is. That those who follow the crystal also believe this. So some are greed, some are of bravado, some are of integrity. So, and it explains on this big metal plaque on the right hand side of these crystals, Ian, is that they say that in order to power these stones or to utilize them, you also have to be of the same philosophy of that pyramid. So, Ian, that means that Kylo Ren just happened to fall upon the crystal that also aligns with his beliefs.
Okay.
And that's how he was able to hook it up and shove wires into a piece of rock.
And find a lost planet. Sure.
Yes. Ian?
That would have been nice if that was in the movie.
Yes.
Ian.
Yes.
You ever found gold in your toilet?
No.
That's what he did. He looked in his toilet, found gold, and got mad.
So you find that. That's the first MacGuffin. That's pretty good. That's the first MacGuffin. The second one is the dagger. And that's where you meet Lando. And boy, that's the most impressive part of that movie, is they got to record him without being super drunk.
Lando being drunk, not
without
crew.
Lando being drunk.
Yes.
Miraculous.
I already got spoiled that he was in the movie because I went on Star Tours before seeing the movie.
Oh, it's fine, dude. Like he plays the most little to the most important role in the movie.
Yeah, apparently didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Just as a little change of pace, what do you guys think about that whole like Diwali-esque scene? That like alien festival with the power. I liked the set design on it. I liked the way it looked. It was nice to look at.
Oh, it's an example of one of my favorite things about Star Wars is just getting into just what the worlds are.
Yeah.
And seeing the culture. I like that bit. And I do think that chase scene is actually pretty cool. It's probably one of the most coolest, exciting bits of the movie. At least for me. Just because there were so many things differently used.
No, I really love the land speeder chase. It's a good.
That was good shit. And then that leads to the dagger. They get the dagger. That's second MacGuffin taken care of. Hey man, did you know? Oh man, do you know about the Knights of Ren?
Yes.
Okay. So they don't do anything, right? The entire movie, they kind of just pose like a Nickelback music video.
That's right.
Or like where they're on cliffs, posing in hot leather.
Yes.
But they have cool designs, don't they?
They do.
Apparently, they were teased throughout all the trilogy and weren't used. I found this out later.
Well, the first time they mention them is when Luke is talking about the old academy.
Yeah.
And how his nephew joins the Knights of Ren, and they never explain what are the Knights of Ren or what their association is.
And in fact, the third movie begins to the point where you can forget about it, right?
Yeah.
The third movie, when they first show up, is just two stormtroopers as they're passing by going, Knights of Ren. Whoa. That's so wild.
Yep.
And then that's your official entry. Like, it's so hacky. Yep. It's the only part that I'll be like, yeah, that can't be professional or anything. Again, I'm not a director, so I don't know shit about like doing all that stuff. So take that with a grain of salt. I always begin. You don't have to listen to me because I am not an expert in anything. But
and then what's the next MacGuffin?
No.
But hang on.
Let me finish the Knights of Ren thing. Okay,
Yes.
Ian, do you know who plays
Yes.
those people in the Knights of Ren?
Like what are the actors?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. What if I told you everyone in the costume for Knights of Ren are actors from the stunt team that did the Raid and the Raid 2?
I'd say what a waste.
What a waste. They get one fight scene and it's not even that good.
Yeah, that frustrated me. Because they're from the best movie, like action movie series.
What an underutilization of talent.
Well, and they're not really even fighting hand to hand.
No. They're doing weapons.
That's a.
Doesn't that suck?
I'm staying in the hypothetical world you
Yeah.
set me up on. If you were to say that, I would say, oh God, what kind of hideous world are we in?
Oh, well, Ian, the truth is that I wasn't
Uh-huh.
lying to you. That they
Oh,
really
no.
were the people from the raid.
No,
And
I don't want
the
to hear
raid
this.
too.
No.
And all they get to do is stand around looking cool.
Oh Jesus Christ!
What a waste.
What a waste.
What a waste of talent.
Actually,
Yeah.
Like, to the point of frustration.
Wow. That's a bummer. That made the movie worse.
Doesn't that make the movie worse, dude? This movie fucking sucks. Like like it's been a long time that I've like watched a movie in theaters and gone, this movie fucking sucks. Oh my god, dude. It's such a waste.
Okay.
So they do that. Third MacGuffin. There's like maybe 4. Third MacGuffin, right?
Yep.
They have to make C-3PO learn Sith.
Yes.
Which, it's kind of ridiculous that he doesn't know it already and has to do that. But whatever. Like, that wasn't too big of a problem on my deal. It's still ridiculous and like didn't have to be in it. Although, I'm glad he got more lines in this movie because he was actually one of the better performances, in my opinion.
C-3PO, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they get the Sith thing going. And then fourth MacGuffin is they have to find that spot on the rock. Which, thank God, Rey just walked up to it and easily found it.
Yeah.
Thank God. Because that would have been a long journey. Wouldn't that have been, Ian?
Mm-hmm.
It would have.
Just walking along the cliff. Dude, it sucks. Like, this movie's... So that's just structure, right? And usually structure's not... And that's just like... Sorry, not structure. That's more... oh, God. Plot holes, I guess. And usually that's not the end of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But when you have so many back-to-back happening in front of you and they're telling you, no, this is how they get there, it's just frustrating, dude.
Well, the way that is set up is because all of those things, maybe they're leading to one goal, which is finding the big planet to do the big fight.
Yeah.
But none of them build on each other.
No.
And so what you end up having is the story keeps ramping up and then dropping off, and then ramping up and then dropping off. And it doesn't carry over momentum from any of those events. You know what I mean? Like, the plot line, and I will come back to this later, the plot line, involving Oscar Isaac going to see that girl wearing the Rocketeer outfit.
Yeah, wearing the Disney's a Rocketeer.
Like, that plot line doesn't really...
Doesn't matter.
Immediately impact... It doesn't impact the other things. Do you
know
what I mean?
It's just to make you feel kind of good when she shows up for the dogfight.
Yes,
at the end.
Exactly. You have one more new friend because we killed your other friend in the last one.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Sorry, that was my phone. But yeah, man.
So
okay, so she gets the dagger, right? And we get to one of my biggest and this is where you're right. It's more or less not their fault unless I find out a fact otherwise. Of Kylo Ren. Hey man, it could always happen.
You don't know.
Star Wars Twitter was going on for like at least 2 months after the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, where Kylo Ren is on that ledge or on that middle of the
wet
water.
Thing?
Yeah, the big wet robot thing, or the Death Star, I guess. By the way, isn't it saying that it fell on the planet and it didn't cause like a giant like crater or impact or nuclear winter or whatever?
No, it's fine.
All right, but it's fine. It fell in water. It was cushioned. So he's standing on that ledge, right? Carrie Fisher dies in that section, and they all feel it. And then the ghost that shows up is not Carrie Fisher, it's Han Solo.
Yes.
And it is kind of on its own in a vacuum, and this is where I really get into the J.J. Abrams thing.
Yeah.
On its own in a vacuum, that is emotionally poignant. That's a father to son, telling him, "No, we will always love you, no matter what, and you can always change." But that it's kind of feels like Carrie Fisher was robbed of that moment.
And that clearly was a setup for her.
That clearly was, which is why I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say it was beyond their control.
But, okay, so vibe this out with me momentarily.
Okay. I'll vibe
this
check.
plot.
Yeah.
Okay. So, one of the things I hate most about what ended up happening with the plot line revolving around Carrie Fisher's character, Princess Leia,
Yes.
is what ended up happening with her son and his plot resolution.
Yes.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about like Ben Solo and in his relationship to the story so far, and then I'll make a quick point.
Okay.
So episode 7.
Yeah.
You set him up as a new kind of villain, and he seems to be wanting to be like his grandfather. And then episode 8, you have that, what I really liked, actually, the big fight where he kills the new evil guy.
Yeah.
And is like, you know what, this whole dynamic is dumb. What if we just made a new dynamic? What if you and me go off, and I'll be a little good, and you can be a little bad, and we'll do like a kind of good bad all at once thing.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of that movie.
Yeah.
And I was like really jazzed. I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
I'm about it. And I mean, because honestly, again, this is my opinion, just having watched episode 8, and I like a lot of episode 8. That kind of carried over a lot of what Luke had even said, where he was like, oh yeah, like it doesn't actually make any sense, the way Jedis work, and the idea that we can just, like, if you subscribe to Jedi belief, you understand that good can never win, in the same way that evil can never win. It's always a struggle between the both of them. And so, like, Jedi probably should just acknowledge that they're good and evil.
Yeah. That they're literally both sides of the same coin.
Yes.
And that coin being the Force. But that's just because they view it as a coin. It's like it's a tool that has it's a magic power. It's a level 1, level 2 D&D spell.
Yeah.
That was just had a religion built around it.
Yeah.
It could have been used anyway. But instead you have like these whole institutions.
Yes.
To construct this like almost, or I would argue hypocritical, like view of right and wrong.
You're right.
In that one always has to. They're both struggling for power.
Yeah.
And it's literally might makes right. Although each will always believe that they're right.
And both have convinced themselves that somehow
this is the way it was meant to be.
But honestly, like, their ideology doesn't hold up to any scrutiny, because what they say in the last movie makes more sense than anything. If you actually believe that everything is in a constant struggle between balance, well, then why are you... Well, how can you say there's one side that will win? You clearly, what you actually believe is that there will always be a fluctuation seeking equilibrium.
They're arguing for the pendulum effect, and it's them on each side trying to throw the pendulum harder and harder.
Yeah.
And it's every time they're trying to match that throw.
Exactly.
And that's just causing destruction. And that, again, I will say it. I've said it once. I'll say it a million times. Best line in KOTOR 2 is someone going, the Jedi Civil War really wrecked a bunch of these planets and sent them into spiraling economies. And your character, who's a Jedi, going, you mean when the Jedi fought the Sith and the light versus dark? And the response is, dude, no one fucking cares.
Yep.
We're just caught in the middle. Mm-hmm. You guys throw your little fights in space.
Yeah.
Best line. Best fucking... I'm sure I'm butchering it, but...
Okay.
I mean, to that sentiment, yes. So that is to say...
Yeah.
Have Kylo Ren, who has been given ostensibly... I think more than 2 opportunities to turn himself around.
Mm-hmm.
Known how destructive his path is, and how he could be doing better. Mm-hmm. And I think on a level that he even describes in episode 7 or 8, I don't remember which now, that he knows he could be doing better than this, but he doesn't. And then after having rejected basically every olive branch given to him, here's what I think they wanted. I'll describe now, and here's what actually happened. What I think they wanted is Carrie Fisher dies.
Yes.
Princess Leia dies, and as a ghost, uses the last of her energy to talk to her son and basically explain, "You're being a piece of shit right now. Yeah. Please stop being such a piece of shit right now."
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then of course basically the exact same thing. His dad says, "We always love you. We know you're capable of better, and I think you know you're capable of better. So please just do better."
Just do better.
Yeah.
And that would be the inciting incident where he then turns around, he leaves, he goes, and he helps Rey.
Yeah.
And that would have been maybe not my favorite thing, but at least it would have an internal logic.
Yes.
Right?
But no.
What happens... Yeah. Go ahead.
I would say instead it's from an offhand information after the movie, from a cut scene where he goes into Chewbacca's mind when he's interrogating him in the ship. And then he feels bad.
Well, it's that, and so I have to say that doesn't count because it's not in the movie.
It's a deleted scene. It doesn't count.
So when you watch the movie, what happens is his mother dies, she disappears, his dad appears, and he says, "Your mother gave up her last bit of energy to basically make you a good person. Please go be a good person because your mom died to make you good."
No credits.
And so that's shitty for multiple reasons, but the biggest one is at the end of this trilogy, and now I'm talking about character, but it also is related to story structure as well. He has no autonomy as a character.
No.
And Kylo Ren ultimately has never actually made an independent choice for himself.
No, he's a tool all the way through.
Yeah, he's a total tool.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the first time he's manipulated by, you know, a puppet of a puppet, then he's manipulated by the Sith, and then he's, I mean, I'm putting it negatively, but he's manipulated by his parents. There's no, like, real appeal to his logic or emotion. It's, you know, I used magic and I made him good.
Yeah. He never stopped being that kid who went to join the Sith out of spite of his parents.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's the same child.
So when you then have that scene at the end where there's a fight, and are we going to talk about the Force dyad also later?
Oh yeah, we will. Yeah,
we gotta. So but they have the fight, and then, oh god. Okay, so I did see J.J. Abrams talk about this. So they have the fight. He is dying, and then Rey and him kiss at the end. It not only doesn't feel earned, but it feels like random.
It sure does.
Feels like out of nowhere, and I don't know why they did it. And then And then J.J. Abrams felt the need to clarify that that kiss actually wasn't romantic. It was more like a fraternal kiss. I've never seen a brother or sister do that. Don't do that to your sisters.
Yes, you did.
Please.
Star Wars.
Han Solo.
God fucking.
Now just came Luke Skywalker and
Leia.
Leia. They kiss, and
You
then
know, before it was decided they were brother and sister.
before the rewrite, it's another rewrite. You know, life's perpetual. You know how it goes.
Yeah, you know that thing. You know that thing brothers and sisters do all the time, where they kiss each other on the mouths.
Open
For long
mouth
periods
kiss?
of time.
Yeah, you know, like
Yeah.
close brothers and sisters do.
Well,
Yeah.
from Alderaan, that's what they do. That's why they blew up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I had to be destroyed.
Jeez.
No,
It
but
was
you're totally
God's
right.
judgment.
I 100% agree with you. It's so not earned. My favorite story about that kiss was I was listening to a podcast, and one of the person described watching on opening weekend, and the kiss happens, and no one says anything except one person in the theater who goes, this older woman, she goes, yeah, like she's super happy it happened, and she's the only one in the theater. Only one.
My fan fiction came
Her
true.
fan fiction came true. And there was kind of a chuckle, but everyone was trying to be polite, not to make this lady feel bad.
Yeah.
But it's like really funny.
It is really. It is.
This poor lady, man.
I mean, I think so. That was just me kind of tackling
Yeah.
Ben and his mom as a narrative structure and as a character, because both of their storylines are basically tied together in this movie.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because again, Carrie Fisher's not there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Dude,
uh,
a lot of these characters just don't.
Oh.
Yeah, man. I don't even fucking know. Oh, go ahead.
No, to say. So speaking of Kylo Ren, Ian,
yes.
do you remember who he was fighting in the beginning when they did a roll call to show where everyone was at the moment?
What, at the beginning of episode 9?
Yes, Rise of Skywalker, when he's in that forest and he body slammed that dude.
Oh, that's right.
You know why he body slammed him that hard, Ian?
Why?
Because they are a cult who worship Darth Vader at Fortress Vader and guarded Vader's Sith Wayfinder on the grounds of the fortress. They are called the Alazamek of
That's way
Winsith.
too much. That's way too much.
That is real,
This is someone getting up their own ass now.
but this is real.
I believe you. It wasn't in the movie, so you know what? It doesn't matter.
Hey, you know where that fortress came from, Ian?
Where'd it come from, man?
You want to take a guess?
Is it Fortnite?
Is it? Oh God, it's not. No, it's not.
That is a really good
Is
guess.
it?
It's from the Marvel comic book that J.J. Abrams said was not canon, the first movie.
Oh, yeah.
So now he decides that the plot of the comic book is now canon because it's convenient
Well,
and it looks
they've
cool.
been doing that shit ever since they said it was not canon.
It's not canon, but at the same time, we're going to take from it because these scenes do look cool.
We're going to steal everyone's ideas.
Yes.
All right, guys. Let's try and get back on track.
All right.
Do you want to take it from another scene or from another character's point of view?
Yeah, let me take it for another scene.
I did both. Go ahead.
And the scene I want to talk about the most is Lando coming in with all those ships, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be the big fan service moment
Yeah.
where everyone's supposed to go, yeah, they're the whole crew's there, except it's just Lando that you know,
Right.
and Chewie, and you don't give a fuck who the rest of them are.
These strangers, I don't love them.
And that gets into, and that's another thing, man, where it's in the vacuum, right? That's supposed to be a really cheerful moment, but the moment you think about that thing for a minute, it doesn't matter. Like, you feel nothing because you don't know who those people were. I guess Lando was out routing a bunch of people who were just helping. I wonder why they were so motivated. I guess it doesn't matter. And the whole thing of the whole crew failing was just a setup so you can feel good in this one moment. Literally, people die so you can feel... Characters, are killed just so you can feel good in that one moment.
Yeah.
for characters that don't mean anything. Lando shows up in just this movie. People, I think it's I think it's Poe's first time seeing Lando. He doesn't
they've
know.
never met.
They've never met. He doesn't fucking know who that is. If Lando could have shown up and Poe could have said, "Who the fuck are you?" and that's would have been way more logical of a reaction than just seeing that.
No, you're right.
And like,
I mean,
and I think that's the antithesis because that's supposed to be the best feel-good moment in that movie, and you feel nothing because it doesn't fucking matter. To these characters, it doesn't matter that thing happened.
Yeah.
In fact, for a more in-depth like talk about that kind of stuff, I highly recommend the Fat Man on Batman podcast with Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin, where they do a spoiler cast. Because that's Mark Bernardin's like biggest problem with the movie.
oh, is that coming in the Calvary kind of moment?
That moment's the antithesis, but the whole thing of it doesn't matter to these characters.
Oh, yeah.
And it sort of matters to us because we know like certain things, but it doesn't matter to these characters.
Agreed.
Like, and to make that scene even worse, you remember that old dude who was saying you did a good job, Lando, when he's helping him?
Yeah.
Remember that guy who only has like one line? And everyone was like, well, I guess they have history. Turns out they're going to get a novel. And the novel's going to explain why he says that line.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Dude, this movie sucks. And,
Okay.
alright, but I think let's try to end on a positive note. What do you guys think were some good things about this movie?
Scenes were
Wait,
cool.
can I talk one more thing of shit about it? Really?
Oh,
quick?
absolutely.
And
If
then
we
we'll
can
say
keep
something
talking shit about
I
it.
promise.
Sorry, I just
Okay.
thought you had to go, so I was trying to like keep
No,
keeping-
I mean, yes, but it's inside of me and I have to get it out.
There we go.
So that whole plot line with the Rocketeer is dumb and terrible, and we don't need
Unnecessary.
her. And
Yeah.
it kind of exists just to bum out people who were reading the chemistry that those two actors were playing off of each other.
Yeah. Which they went on
'cause
record to say that's how they played it.
That is how they played it, and
Yeah.
I think, in fact, if you look up like the social media of Daisy Ripley or
Uh-huh.
just about anybody else who worked on that picture,
Yeah.
they were all like, "Well, yeah, those dudes are super gay for each other."
Yeah. That's how they played it off. John Boyega's
Boyega.
character and Poe are super into each other. And Nick was even watching it and didn't know about that quote, and you were like, yeah, they are like
Vibing.
they are
Yeah.
moments away from putting hands in each other's butt pockets.
Yeah.
Okay, look, listen. When I go back to there's scenes in episode 8, there are scenes in episode 7. When you look at a guy and you're like, I think this jacket looks better on you, and then you like grab his arm and look at him. That's not how friends hang out. That's not how buddies are.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then honestly, so yeah, they cut that, and then they added like one female kiss at the end so that they could.
Oh, dude,
I don't know.
that's like
That was great.
that's a bigger problem I have with Hollywood right now in general, right? Is that they're
You know what I
trying.
mean?
They're trying to. I think it's just trying to take. I think they're actually trying to take advantage of people.
Oh, for
Like-
sure.
Like saying, "Oh, look, the first gay couple is gonna be in the movie, and they're gonna be a big deal." And they show up for one scene, and it's a kiss, and you go, "See, they were a big deal."
Ooh, they were the part of all those people you loved who came to help them in the big star. Remember the star fight?
Yeah.
They were there.
Yeah, you know any of the main
Please clap.
characters who you're supposed to relate to all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. All those characters you're supposed to relate to all the time. Wouldn't it be cool if they were part of that? Nah, we can't do that. That's gonna scare
Yeah.
away some of the audience. We have to sell this movie in China, where it's not
What
allowed.
if- Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great? I'm just saying this now.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. But they're too scared. They won't let Finn and Poe be a couple.
Yeah.
But then in episode 9, after C-3PO gets rebooted, he then is like, "I'm absolutely gay the whole time. I'm a gay robot. I'm crazy about men robots. That would be very funny to me. Anyway,
That
C-3PO?
But
Yeah.
it's something that's happening more and more, and it sucks because that's not the kind of like representation that. And again, I'm saying this as like a cis male, right? As cis Hispanic male, that I think should be happening. But man, I don't know. It's gross, dude. It's gross to watch.
It was a bummer.
Yeah.
It was a bummer. It was a bummer, and I think it was a bummer for the actors who were like
Oh yeah.
very excited about that potentially paying off.
Oh, so much so that John Boyega, I think, tweeted as soon as that movie premiered. Yeah, they were totally into each other.
Yes. Oh my god! And then fending off all the weird internet creeps who are losing their shit. But yeah. Okay. Nick, what is something you really like about this here picture?
I really like.
What was something you thought or was neat?
Yeah,
Was positive.
I agree. I think that chase scene in during the festival was cool. I mean, they had sequences themselves that were cool. It's just the issue is at the context and then like the build up to it. I mean, if you take these scenes or like moments in the movie that are cool or unique, but then when they're given the context of
the film
and the franchise, and the meta context of what
the
Disney,
thing they're a part of,
Disney wants to, has been advertising it to be.
Yeah.
That's the issue. So
yeah.
There's a lot I like looking at, but I don't
100%.
know if I agree. Yeah, if I enjoyed any context of the movie. So
100%.
What about you, man?
What about me? I like that there was more puppets and practical effects.
I thought
Giant Snake was pretty cool.
It was cool.
And I like that. Oh, I like Chewbacca's scene when he finds out Carrie Fisher, when Princess Leia dies.
Yeah.
I like that because that's him. I think before he meets Lando, going, "Oh, I'm the last one."
Yeah.
Like, it's all me.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Because that looked like heartbreak.
Yes.
Oh man. Those are pretty much it, though. I think there were some good jokes. And I think that's part on the. And I get. Oh no, I did say. I think all the actors were actually doing great.
I agree.
And doing the best they could do.
Something I really loved about this one, besides the things I agree with you guys. I think it visually really looks good. I love the whole Diwali scene and the chase in the desert. That's really great to look at.
Yeah.
There's a scene. There's a moment. Again, it's good out of context, but the scene at the end where Rey is just about to like summon the strength to fight the Emperor.
Yeah.
You hear the voices of the Jedis from the past all talking to her.
Yeah.
And they got like Ewan McGregor to record a line.
They got Ewan McGregor, Christian Hayden. Christian Hayden, am I saying that right? The guy who plays Anakin.
Frank Oz, who's Yoda.
Yeah.
To all talk to her and explain like the Force is always with us and binds us, and that scene, that little moment, I did get a chill. Like that's a really cool thing.
Oh yeah. Thought it would be cooler if we had somehow set it up that like, oh yeah, it really is like they all live within this one thing.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been neat.
Whew. Anyway. That was Star Wars.
Yeah. Doesn't it suck that she's like, oh, my last name's Skywalker? She should have just been Rey.
That would have been a lot cooler.
It's heartbreaking. That to me is heartbreaking for the wrong reason.
Well, I mean, it goes back to you and I are of the opinion that she's better as a nobody, and I think that the movie should have taken that approach.
I feel like the whole franchise should have been defined by that moment where the kid is in that slum. Or in that slave camp, and he's trying to move the broom, and it moves just a little. And it's just some kid.
And I think we've talked about it before, how Episode 8 seemed to be setting up this idea that we are distancing ourselves from the idea that you have to be blood to be important.
Yeah.
And that anybody can make a change in your world if you want to try hard enough. And that's what I think that's what Star Wars ought to be about. That everybody is important in their own way.
Yeah, that anyone can be like can change things up if they just are willing to put in the work and try.
Yeah.
But no, should have been part of that clone army, and then incestuous.
Should have been your own dad.
Should have been your own dad. Should have been your own dad. That's probably gonna.
Sorry,
gang.
Sorry.
It's rough. And that's Star Wars.
That's Star Wars.
Hey man, I heard the Clone Wars series on Disney Plus is pretty good.
Fucking slaps, man.
Maybe I'll check it out. I heard the movie's awful, but it's a prequel.
Wait, which movie?
The CG Clone Wars movie.
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, I heard it's bad.
I don't remember the movie. I remember the show. The show's really good.
Yeah, the show's supposed to be a banger, but like everyone told me, the prequel movie sucks.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well,
that's Star Wars.
That's it.
Nice. We feel good, right, guys?
Hey, dude, that movie is the ending to a 9-movie series.
Mm-hmm.
9 movie. Okay. No, it's cool, man.
She goes back to the fucking what was the farm? They were like bacteria farmers or something.
No, they were something.
Tatooine.
And they should have been more important than it felt. Just like a fucking piss away kind of thing.
Felt
anyway,
tacked on is what it did.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like just an excuse so she can say Skywalker.
Because Rise of Skywalker.
Which is like, I can go to that as proof that that they do believe it's supposed to be an incestuous family. In just one line.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
clearly. Jesus.
Man. Alright.
This is a quick PSA from Little V to remind you to
Stay the fucking side! Wash your fucking hands! Don't touch your face! That's all I demand! Save the human race! No more handshakes! No high fives! That's all it'll take! Now go on home and stay the fucking side! Yeah, just stay the fucking side! Chill the fuck out! Stop panicking! Let's deliver a technical knockout! We'll fight this thing! You can't live carefree! You gotta come back! Don't overtake me! Cause I need the shit! I need the shit! May feel like forever, but come on, let's do our best. If we all work together, we can get out of this mess.
and remember, kids.
Stay the fucking side!